Officer, Compliance and Facilitation Directorate, World Customs Organization.
Mesdames, Messieurs, je vais m'exprimer en français, si vous le permettez. Comme vous l'avez remarqué, dans le titre de ce panel, on parle d'opérationnel. Et je crois que c'est quelque chose qui est particulièrement important, puisque la douane est en fait le premier acteur à la frontière. C'est la première autorité de contrôle. En matière de lutte contre la contrefaçon et la piraterie, mais également dans la protection de la santé et de la sécurité des consommateurs, la douane joue évidemment un rôle clé, de par sa situation géographique, mais également de par les textes internationaux, et je pense notamment aux accords ATPIC, les accords sur le droit de la propriété intellectuelle qui touchent au commerce, qui sont une annexe des accords de l'OMC, où la douane et l'administration de contrôle nommément citée. Donc, légalement et pratiquement, la douane est au contact des marchandises, des personnes et des moyens de transport. Il faut toujours se méfier des statistiques, mais communément, on convient de dire que la douane représente à peu près 90%, entre 85 et 90% des saisies de contrefaçon, des retenues de contrefaçon à travers le monde. Mais la douane a un rôle également de facilitation. Comment faire pour contrôler et faciliter? Il n'y a pas de facilitation sans contrôle, mais si on contrôle trop, il n'y a pas de facilitation. Donc, c'est devant ces constats que nous allons accueillir nos pénalistes. Simplement, je voudrais également vous rappeler quelque chose. Le rôle de douanier n'est pas un rôle facile. Au moment où je vous parle, il y a 500 millions de containers sur les mers. 500 millions. Chaque année, il y a 5 milliards de colis postaux qui sont échangés. Donc, vous voyez, globalisation, oui, mais contrôle. Donc, la finalité, c'est de contrôler moins, mais de contrôler mieux. Et puis, on se trouve dans une problématique évolutive. Problématique évolutive au niveau des fraudes. De nouvelles tendances, et nous le verrons à travers les présentations, de nouvelles tendances apparaissent. On pense notamment aux zones franches. On pense notamment au transbordement, au faux transit, aux faux cartes d'identité des containers, ce qu'on appelle dans notre jargon les connaissements maritimes. On vit dans un monde de faux, avec une nouvelle mission pour nous, et c'est une révolution culturelle. Notre mission régalienne était de percevoir les droits et taxes. Aujourd'hui, c'est également de faire un rôle de police de la marchandise, de par notre situation géographique. Donc, révolution culturelle, le disais-je, et nouveau rôle ô combien important, la protection des consommateurs. Protection, santé et sécurité. Je parlais de problématiques évolutives. Je crois qu'il faut qu'on fasse excessivement attention. Je vais vous montrer deux exemples. Nous venons de terminer une opération très importante qui s'appelle opération Biela. Il y a quelques semaines, enfin quelques jours, on est rentré d'Afrique où nous avions associé 23 pays sur la protection et la santé du consommateur. Notre secrétaire général insiste sur ce point. On parle bien évidemment de propriété industrielle, mais il faut également parler de protection de la santé et de sécurité du consommateur. Vous me direz, tout le monde en parle, c'est des mots. Alors écoutez bien ces chiffres, ils ne sont que provisoires. Nous avons intercepté en 10 jours plus d'1 milliard, je dis bien plus d'1 milliard, de contrefaçon de médicaments ou de médicaments illicites. 1 milliard. On ne parle pas de 4 millions, on ne parle pas de 10 millions, 1 milliard. Quel type de médicaments? Soit de la contrefaçon pure et dure, contrefaçon de marque pure et dure, avec des hologrammes anti-contrefaçon contrefaits, soit des choses beaucoup plus étonnantes, telles que ceci, Alors je suis désolé avant le repas de vous parler de anti-hémorroïdes, mais c'est de ça dont il s'agit. Mais ces anti-hémorroïdes sont particuliers puisqu'ils soignent à la fois les maux de tête, le vertige, les ballonnements et douleurs abdominales et également les indigestions. Bref, c'est un médicament miracle. À la différence près qu'il n'avait bien évidemment pas d'autorisation de mise sur le marché et que lorsqu'il présente au dédouanement, il nous présente à nous des fausses autorisations de mise sur le marché avec des cachets estampillés par les ministères qui sont des faux cachets. C'est donc dans cette problématique que nos pénalistes, que je vais vous présenter, vont s'exprimer. Quelles sont les nouvelles tendances? Les voilà en partie. La législation est-elle en adéquation avec ces nouvelles tendances de fraude? L'analyse de risque est-elle suffisante? Le système IPM, interface publiquement, qui est un système pour les douaniers de première ligne excessivement efficace et qui, dans sa nouvelle version, va nous permettre, devant les containers, de simplement cliquer pour savoir si ce sont des vrais ou des faux. C'est à ces questions que nous allons répondre. Et je vais tout de suite demander à monsieur le sous-secrétaire adjoint du ministère de la Douane et du Commerce turc, monsieur Mehmet Gusel, de vous présenter son point de vue. Monsieur, vous avez la parole.
Teşekkür ederim Sayın Başkan. Sayın Genel Sekreter, çok değerli katılımcılar. Bu sunumda Türk Gümrük İdaresi'nde fikri ve sınai mülkiyet haklarının korunmasına, ticarete konu, her türlü eşyanın yasa dışı ticaretinin, kaçakçılığın önlenmesine yönelik uygulamalar hakkında bilgi vereceğim. Dün yapılan konuşmalarda sıkça dile getirildiği üzere, küreselleşen dünyada gelişen teknolojiyle birlikte sahte ve taklit üretiminin devasa boyutlara ulaşması, hak sahiplerinin menfaatlerinin hukuki koruma altına alınmasını zorunlu kılmaktadır. Bu zorunluluk aynı zamanda gelişmişliğin bir göstergesi ve ekonomi faaliyetlerinin haksız kazanca neden olmayacak şekilde ve hukuk çerçevesinde yapılmasının olmazsa olmaz koşuludur. Türkiye'de fikri ve sınai eserlerin ülkeye giriş çıkışları ile ilgili olarak uygulanan gümrük mevzuatı, uluslararası sözleşmeler, TRIPS anlaşması ve AB gümrük mevzuatı ile büyük ölçüde uyumludur. Fikri ve sınai mülkiyet haklarının korunmasına ilişkin gümrük işlemleri, sınır kontrolleri ilgili gümrük mevzuatına göre hak sahibinin yetkilerine tecavüz eder mahiyetteki eşyanın alıkonulması veya gümrük işlemlerinin durdurulması, hak sahibinin veya temsilcisinin talebi üzerine gümrük idareleri tarafından gerçekleştirilmektedir. Gümrük idaresine henüz talepte bulunulmadığı durumda ve söz konusu eşyanın bu hakları ihlal ettiğine dair açık deliller bulunması halinde ise hak sahibinin geçerli bir başvuruda bulunmasını teminen gümrük idarelerince eşya 3 iş günü süresince re'sen alıkonulmaktadır. Fikri ve sınai hakların ihlali ile ilgili olarak Gümrük İdaresi'nin harekete geçmesine yönelik olarak yapılan başvurular 1 Nisan 2013 tarihinden itibaren Bakanlığımız web sayfasında fikri ve sınai mülkiyet hakları programı yoluyla elektronik olarak yapılabilmektedir. Değerli katılımcılar, Bakanlığımız ticaretin kolaylaştırılması ile yasa dışı ticaretin önlenmesine yönelik idari, kurumsal ve teknik kapasitesini artırmaya ve bu anlamda modernizasyon çalışmalarına büyük önem vermektedir. Gümrük kapı ve limanlarımızda her geçen gün artan işlem hacmi ve buna paralel olarak artan kaçakçılık olaylarının ve sınır aşan suçların önlenmesi, sınır geçişlerinin hızlandırılması amacıyla kontroller risk esaslı ve istihbarata dayalı olarak gerçekleştirilmektedir. Bu kapsamda merkezi ve yerel düzeyde bakanlığımızın bilgi ve istihbarat toplamaya yönelik kaynakları, Dünya Gümrük Örgütü, SELEK, ZKA, Balkaninfo, yabancı gümrük ve polis irtibat görevlileri gibi uluslararası kaynaktan temin edilen istihbari bilgiler analiz edilerek kontrollerin etkinliği artırılmaktadır. Sınır kontrollerinde ileri teknoloji ürünü olan araç ve konteyner tarama sistemleri, uyuşturucu ve patlayıcı dedektörleri, radyasyon panelleri, pek çok yoğunluk ölçüm cihazları, videoskop cihazları gibi pek çok teknik alet ve cihazlar kullanılmaktadır. Bu cihazlar özellikle fiziki arama gerektiren durumlarda kontrollerin süratle yapılmasını sağlayarak zamandan tasarruf sağlamaktadır. Ayrıca riskli transit taşımaları takip edebilmek amacıyla araç takip sistemi kurulmuştur. Kurumlar arası işbirliğini en üst düzeye çıkarabilmek amacıyla başta mücadeleci birimler olan polis, jandarma ve sahil güvenlik teşkilatları ile bilgi ve istihbarat paylaşımı, ortak soruşturma ve ortak operasyonlar, ortak eğitimler yapmak üzere protokoller imzalanmıştır ve bu protokoller uygulanmaktadır. Bakanlığımız Fikri ve Sınai Mülkiyet Hakları Koordinasyon Kurulu'nun üyesidir. Ayrıca Türk Patent Enstitüsü ile imzalanan protokolle ihracat için yapılan beyanlarda markalı ihracatın takip edilebilirliğini mümkün hale getirecek bilgi değişim ağı kurulmuştur. IPR ihlallerinin önlenmesi amacıyla özel sektörle bilgi paylaşımı, ortak çalışma ve işbirliğine ayrı bir önem verilmekte ve ortak eğitim faaliyetleri düzenlenmektedir. Uluslararası işbirliğine yönelik başta sınır komşularımız olmak üzere bölgemizde tüm ülkeler ile ikili ve çoklu düzeyde gümrük idareleri toplantıları düzenlenmekte. Ayrıca sınır kapılarımızda yerel düzeyde sınır gümrük idareleri toplantıları düzenlenerek ikili işbirliğini artırmaya ve sorunları çözmeye yönelik önemli adımlar atılmaktadır. Bu çalışmalar arasında bakanlığımızca da aktif olarak katılım sağlanan Avrupa Birliği Türkiye IPR Ortak Çalışma Grubu ve Venedik İşbirliği girişimi ve SELEK girişimi sayılabilir. Değerli katılımcılar, Dünya Gümrük Örgütü, Interpol, OLAF, SELEK Merkezi gibi uluslararası kuruluşlar tarafından koordine edilen kaçakçılıkla mücadeleye ilişkin uluslararası operasyonlara aktif katılım sağlanmaktadır. Bunlar arasında IPR ihlallerini önlemeye yönelik olarak yapılan Shadow 5 operasyonu, Black Poseidon operasyonu, Pancea 5 operasyonu ve Trojan 3 operasyonları sayılabilir. Fikri ve sınai mülkiyet hakları ihlallerinde yapılan yakalamalara baktığımız zaman genel itibariyle sahte sigara, sahte cep telefonları ve aksesuarları, taklit ayakkabı ve çantalar, tekstil ürünleri ve sahte ilaçların başı çektiğini görmekteyiz. En popüler kaynak ülkeler Uzak Doğu ve Orta Doğu ülkeleri olup hedef ülke olarak da Batı Avrupa ülkeleri olmuştur. Yakalamalar ağırlıklı olarak giriş yani ithalat aşamasında tespit edilmiş ancak son yıllarda transit eşyalarda da dikkat çekici yakalamalar gerçekleştirilmiştir. Değerli katılımcılar, sonuç olarak dün Sayın Bakanımızın ve Sayın Müsteşarımızın yaptığı konuşmalarda da çok açıkça belirttikleri ve vurguladıkları gibi fikri ve sınai mülkiyet hakları ihlallerinin önlenmesi Türk Gümrük İdaresi'nin öncelikleri arasında yer almaktadır. Bu işin doğası gereği mücadelenin özellikle ikili, bölgesel ve çok taraflı işbirliği içerisinde çalışılması, özel sektör ve kamu kuruluşları arasında etkin bir iletişim mekanizmasının işletilmesi, istihbari bilgi kanallarının açık olması, sağlıklı risk analizlerinin yapılması ama aynı zamanda yüksek teknolojiden faydalanarak etkin sınır kontrollerinin gerçekleştirilmesine bağlı olduğuna inanmakta ve çalışmalarımızı bu yönde sürdürmekteyiz. Dinlediğiniz için teşekkür ederim.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le sous-secrétaire. Maintenant, je vais passer la parole à Madame Caroline Edry, qui est chef d'unité, elle est chef de l'unité protection des citoyens et lutte contre la contrefaçon et le piratage à la Commission européenne et plus précisément à la Direction générale Fiscalité et Union douanière.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, Christophe, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this event, to thank the WCO. And also I would like to thank our Turkish customs colleagues with whom we have a special relation in the context of the customs union. And IPR enforcement is a clear domain where we have good prospects of furthering our cooperation with Turkish customs. So this panel is about looking at regional trends and then what customs do to address them. So what are the trends in the EU? Mainly I can talk about increases. First, I would like to point to the regular increase in the past years of the number of applications for action. Between 2004 and 2011, they have been multiplied by 10. We have now around 20,000 applications for action, which shows how vivid the cooperation between companies and customs is and the importance of this partnership for fighting IPR infringements. Also, we see a regular, constant increase in the number of detention cases by customs. In 2011, we had 91,000 cases for 115 million articles. And for the first time, we calculated the equivalent retail value, and it was more than 1 billion euro. What we see also, the number of detention cases is explained by an explosion of postal and express courier cases. We had in 2011 around 50,000 cases in the post and express courier domain, resulting obviously from internet sales, and that we have discussed already yesterday. And the only stable information or trend we have is that sea transport remains the favorite transport mode for transporting counterfeit and pirated goods to the EU market. So, to address these challenges, we have taken, I would say, a voluntary approach. First, the Commission and the EU member states have decided to reinforce the legal framework for customs to act. So we are now in the final stage of adopting the new regulation on the customs enforcement of IPR. Today there's a number of meetings to finalize the text, and I hope that the Council of Ministers and the European Parliament will adopt the regulation in the coming months. So what will this regulation bring? Well, in fact, it will bring more possibilities for customs to act. We have widened the scope of and the range of IPR infringements that will be enforced at the border, which means that will facilitate the work of customs officers, because they do not have to make a decision if certain types of infringements are covered or not. So in operational terms, it will make their life easier. Also, we have included a number of simplified procedures for the destruction of the goods that are detained. In view of the volumes that customs are confronted with, we have proposed to make the simplified destruction procedure mandatory all over the EU, and it will be the favorite procedure followed if the conditions are satisfied. But it will be for the right holder to decide also if they prefer to go on pursue court cases. So with this simplified procedure for destruction, there will be shortening the procedures, which mean less administrative burden, both for customs and for right holders, which also implies fewer costs for everybody. We have also foreseen a special procedure for small consignments, in order to, again, reduce the administrative burden, both for customs and right holders, of dealing with each parcel, which contains very often 1 to 2 or 3 articles. So this simplified procedure will also allow for a fast treatment of the parcels by customs. Another important point, and I think I would like to stress today, is that the regulations sets very clearly what information the right holders have to provide to customs. The only way for customs to target shipments is to get the proper information from the right holders. You've mentioned, Christophe, the number of containers that are crossing the borders, and the same for post parcels. So without the updated and excellent quality information, customs cannot act. So here I would insist on you right holders to, when you provide an application for action, that you put the maximum information that will allow customs to target the shipments, and that you regularly update this information. And if you have intelligence, don't hesitate to provide it to the customs in the countries where it can be used. But the law is not enough. That's why the EU ministers in December agreed on a common strategy on customs action to fight IPR infringements, which is what we call an EU action plan. It's not the first one, but this one has some particular features. We insist in this strategy on the proper or strong implementation of the new regulation. And also we have set a few priorities to address the trends I've just mentioned. For example, we will be engaging among European customs on reflection and work on how to deal with internet-related trade. It's on the one hand dealing with the treatment of postal packages. We will have a new procedure, but then we have to see how, what will be the practice and what will be the difficulties of this procedure. And then on the other hand also how we deal with the sales on the internet itself. So there we will build on work that has already been done, and maybe we can draw some lessons from that. And also in this context we will have to engage with further cooperation with right holders and internet service providers. Another novelty, I would say, in the EU action plan is that we have to really engage in developing an EU common risk management approach, because we need to make sure that our customs are able to tackle the large containers, the large shipments, and that the information is quickly shared between the European customs, so that they can also address the related shipments that arrive in our ports of entry. A third element is, of course, as we've heard a lot these days, is cooperation. International cooperation is key, obviously, because we talk about shipments that cross borders. And in the new regulation, you will see that we have now a legal base to provide for exchange of information with non-EU countries, that is on shipments themselves. So we are now working on an implementing act, as we call it in our jargon, to prepare for this exchange of information. And obviously we are looking for third country candidates to exchange information with our customs on shipments, so that we increase cooperation with source countries, with transit countries and destination countries. I think now we have to take a more proactive approach to this. We've been talking about it for a long time. Now we have to find concrete ways of exchanging this information with the countries with which the trade is related. Another element of international cooperation is, of course, we will pursue our active cooperation with China. We have a dedicated EU-China action plan, and there I think we have to step up the fight together and upgrade our existing action plan to be able to be even more effective on the ground. And in this context, we are exchanging information with Chinese customs, but also we are engaging in a process of furthering cooperation in our respective territories between customs, police and judges, to ensure that from the customs cases we can go up the chain up to investigations and then prosecution. And also there is a segment of cooperation with industry, both in the EU and China. And there as well, I think that's an interesting element, because as I said, cooperation with right holder is the basis of our systems. Also, you mentioned joint operations. I think these joint customs operations are very important to first to get results, but also to launch investigations and also to identify trends. But the complaint we have sometimes via customs is that there are too many customs operations, so we have to see how we can better cooperate in setting this. I would like also to mention capacity building. I think we have some good knowledge in the EU customs that we can share with the customs in other countries, and we are really open to complement the effort of the WCO in this area. Where you have identified gaps, maybe we can contribute or work together on this. And finally, I would like to refer to the cooperation with the European Observatory on IPR infringements. Paul mentioned this morning earlier that we are engaged together in this cooperation, and we are now developing joint projects so that our customs can benefit from all the knowledge that the observatory is building. So this was more or less the latest developments in the EU, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Caroline. Effectivement, beaucoup d'initiatives. Eh bien, voyons maintenant avec Monsieur le Directeur Général des douanes Monsieur le Directeur Général, Monsieur Vanko Kargov, qui est donc du ministère des Finances, de l'administration des douanes, ancienne République yougoslave de Macédoine.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, Secretary General, Mr. Zimmerman, first of all, let me introduce you with the Customs Administration of the Republic of Macedonia. It is a small country. We have 14 land BCPs, 3 railways BCPs, 2 airports, 45 customs posts, 1,160 employees. We have 25% simplified procedures, processing of the customs declarations, out of which 90% are land transport declarations. About the understanding of the reason for IPR protection, I can tell you that it is the same. First of all, it is to provide a competitive and stable business and investment environment, to protect people's health and life, to protect fiscal interests of the state, to prevent money laundering, and to support fighting terrorism. In our opinion, first of all, there must be minimum institutional requirements. First of all, it is wide political commitment and support, and it means providing necessary resources, effective regulation and procedures, and implementation of the regulation, because very often there is regulation, but governments are not ready to implement all this regulation because of some kind of social excuse or standard of living, etc. There shouldn't be any excuse. In Macedonia, we have own customs measures for IPR protection and, of course, appropriate rulebooks. Of course, it is very important for us, and we are doing that, permanent campaigns for public awareness. We also think that it's very important to have good cooperation with the business community on a bilateral basis, but also with associations and groups, because they have feeling, they feel what's going on the market, and they can give us idea what to do. Cooperation with the holders of the trademarks, and cooperation with other government authorities competent for law enforcement and market surveillance. And of course, there is international cooperation, because it is very important to get information, to exchange information, training, participation in the international actions. I can say that we have operational technical advisor certificate by WCO, and we are also active in the WCO operational missions. About the Macedonian Customs Organization, we have strategy and annual plans on IPR protection, together with the strategy and programs for training. We have introduced advisory council in accordance with the safe framework of standards and the revised Kyoto Convention. We have a cooperation there with the representatives of 5 chambers of commerce, together with associations of the transporters, of the carriers, and some clusters of the different types of producers. We have also signed MOUs with a so-called coordinative body for intellectual industrial property protection, Ministry of Culture, and other government bodies. And what can I say about the cooperation with the trademarks? They register their requests with the Customs Administration. They provide us with detailed information about the goods, about the phone, about the invoices, about many other details that we are using in the risk analysis and identification of the counterfeited goods. And of course, they also provide us with information about the concrete cases. We have established national coordination body on IPR protection, and we work together. It means not only customs, but also internal market, training, market monitoring, exchange of information, and common actions. We think that it is always good to have communication and coordination with the internal agencies for market surveillance, because we analyze what's going on the market, not only to seize the goods immediately, but in order to identify what was the way those goods came on the market. We have established also a special unit that is competent for administration and coordination of the activities, and also we have introduced regional coordinators for IPR protection. And of course, special procedures. There is also, of course, a special risk analysis module. And we have also introduced minimum quantitative targets for IPR protection for each customs post. It means they have quantitative targets what to do in the area of IPR protection. As I mentioned before, but I will repeat that we have a national IPR customs database with detailed information about the holders of the trademarks and details about all their products, because they have a list of products, not only one. It is part of our integrated informational system and especially document management system, so that all the holders of the trademarks, they can submit electronically their applications, and there is hyperlink with the WCO IPM database, and it is possible, and we are working on it now, to provide this or to give this national database to other government institutions. So, as I mentioned before, we have also introduced WCO IPM database. It is in place since first quarter last year, but we still work on improvement of this system. Of course, there are results. Many years ago, there were seizures of huge quantities, but now it is not the situation in Macedonia. I can only mention this several months this year that there is a change on the market, and smuggling or trading with counterfeited goods. We have shoe shine, about 40,000 pieces. We have plastic labels for hair shampoo. We have another really seizures of hundreds of thousands. That is very big amount and quantity for Macedonia as a country, because it is small market. And what's going on the market? What we see? We see that from the previous years there is a change. Instead of containers and huge quantities, there are attempts to import or transit small but very frequent shipments. It is very difficult to identify because they are very small, and what's also very interesting is they mix original and fakes, and it makes life of the customs also much more difficult. Also, we can identify that these guys, they are trying to avoid places or countries where the control on IPR is stronger. So very easy they go to other borders in order to avoid our borders where there is a stronger control. Also, we see that there are attempts now to smuggle labels of different types of the trademarks, so they produce the products somewhere in the country, or maybe they import in different way, but they put just labels on the products, and this is really something, not really, but it is something new in the developments on the market. What is also very important, it is that holders of the trademarks sometimes are reluctant to take action, first of all because of the costs for proceeding, for destroying all these goods, or sometimes they are not happy if the public is informed that their trademarks were counterfeited because it affects the sale of the original products. About our ongoing activities, we are working on a new IPR database and improvement of the usage of the IPM WCO database to reduce the costs for administration with IPR and counterfeited goods, and then to control the prices, invoices, because very often and actually always all these products they declare much lower prices than the original. If we have to release the goods, then we check the prices and invoices, and we increase the prices up to the catalog prices of the original. And we have a laboratory analysis about the quality, because you know, we also see that the quality of the counterfeited goods is better because it is not exceptional action of those, it is permanent business for the producers of the counterfeited goods. We are strengthening our cooperation with other stakeholders on the internal market and post-clearance control, because we have full control of the companies or importers of the counterfeited goods. And we share all this information with the Agency for Financial Intelligence because of the anti-money laundering purposes, and with the Public Revenue Office because of the tax purposes, because we think that there is always tax evasion. Of course, we continue with our international cooperation, and it is very important for us to identify the whole organization. It is not quantity seized in the country, but what's going on with the producers, with transporters, with the distributors, and everybody. So everybody must be in the package. It is not only seizure of these goods. I think that my time is over. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Directeur Général. Et sans plus attendre, nous allons avoir la présentation de Monsieur Vunoc Han, qui est le Directeur Général Adjoint des douanes vietnamiennes. Monsieur le Directeur Général Adjoint.
His Excellency, General Secretary of the WCO, ladies and gentlemen, I came from the Vietnam Customs, a country in the Southeast Asia, a member of ASEAN country and a member of APEC, and the partner on the negotiations of TPP negotiations. So I mentioned these factors because in the combat or struggle against the IPR violation, the globalization is a very important factor that imply the serious challenges for customs. I'm sorry. As you may know, Vietnam is a new emerging economy, and despite of the small size of the economy, it might go so to the trade nation, because the annual balance of import and exports in recent years almost doubled the GDP, general domestic products. So we understand deeply how important the free trade for us, for the economy of Vietnam. And we understand also deeply that we cannot have the free trade mechanism cannot operate smoothly without the protection of IPR. That's why Vietnam's government plays on this very great attention to the role of customs in the commerce against the IPR infringement. Besides the other other government agencies like the police or the market inspection, other agencies. But I would like to return to the factors of globalization. As a member of the ASEAN Association, an economic community, a free trade zone by the year of 2015. By this time, we have the free circulation of goods between the members of the association, and it means also it's the possibility of free circulation of counterfeit goods between the members of the country. Besides, Vietnam is a neighbor of China, a great manufacturing and goods consumption of the world, the gate from the ASEAN to China. And this provides a great opportunity for the economy of the association as well as for Vietnam. And it creates also the challenges for both the association of ASEAN, of Vietnam, and of China to combat the violation of IPR. And recently, Vietnam is also the country beneficiary of a lot of programs of tax relief, tariff reliefs from its biggest trade partners like USA, EU, Japan, Republic of Korea, and other economies. And recently, we discovered also the phenomenon of the wrong use of the origin, of Vietnam's origin, and of brand names of Vietnam's products for the goods temporarily imported to Vietnam, and then afterward re-export to the markets that Vietnam benefits this program, and it is very harmful for both the Vietnam's economy and the economy of its partners. These factors accumulated by other factors like the application of e-commerce, e-customs, and the pressure for customs to reduce the clearance time for importation and exportation, the new way of import-export, like the import using the services of express carrier, create also the challenges for customs to in its combat against the IPR infringement. To respond to these challenges, of course, from the year of 2001, when the first customs law was enacted, customs law and other laws on, like the law on property rights and other legal instruments, provides a vast range for customs in its struggle against the IPR. In Vietnam, we have the Vietnam Customs have the right to stop the importation, exportation, to investigate the sign of the violation of IPR. We also have the right to impose the administrative penalties on traders who wrong use who violates the IPR, the intellectual and property rights, of course. For the organizational aspect of the program, we have a special unit and has all the competencies provided by custom laws and other laws. We also created a mechanism where the right holder may depose their demand to protect their rights, to register, to demand customs to provide necessary measures to protect their rights. We also have created a database on the IPR, and we have a plan to integrate this database into the database of risk management. We also have a very good cooperation with rights holders in Vietnam, so that they could provide for customs the information and consultation to better protect their rights. But with the further the globalization is now the world that we live, we trade, became day by day more flat. The trade increasing quickly. We understand that this measure that we now undertake in Vietnam Customs is not enough. And by this year and the next year, we have a plan to revise the custom laws of 2001 to the directory of increasing the competencies of customs in this matter. For example, the right of to stop ex officio the importation, exportation with the sign of violation of IPR. All the right to act outside the now so-called the custom action zone. I mentioned the custom action zone because in Vietnam, till nowadays, the customs don't have the right to implement their duty or activities, but in the so-called special custom zone around the seaport, airport, and alongside the land borders. But in the new vision of customs laws, we intend to amend the articles on this matter so that the custom service may have right to act outside this special zone. With the efforts of Vietnam Customs and other government agencies, recently we have seized some cases of the violation of IPR. For example, in 2012, we have seized almost 2 million packets of cigarettes, more than 30,000 sets of cosmetics, including the great brand name, 5,000 sets of clothes of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, 4,000 sets of Sony game, and more than 500 units of case bag of Longchamp, Louis Vuitton, Mont Blanc, for example. This is some small reasons. I don't mention the seas with the cooperation with the other government agency is only the customs alone. And we, in this combat against the IPR violation, we think that the cooperation with the right holders, with the other, with the customs services of other countries, and with the transport companies, with the international organization and the regional organization is very important. And with the revision of custom laws, I'm sure that the Vietnam Customs has, if not enough, so then very strong competencies in this struggle against IPR violation. So my time is at the end. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Directeur Général adjoint des douanes vietnamiennes. Maintenant, nous allons passer à Monsieur Hippolyte Bamana, qui est directeur régional des douanes du Togo. Togo qui a hébergé l'unité de commandement des 2 grosses opérations faites par l'OMD. Monsieur Bamana, s'il vous plaît.
Merci. C'est Hyacinthe Bamana. Je suis le directeur régional des douanes de la région maritime au Togo, en charge du port de Lomé, de l'aéroport et des autres grands bureaux de la capitale. Donc je viens du Togo. Le Togo est un petit pays de l'Afrique de l'Ouest qui est situé entre le Ghana et le Bénin. Il a 56 000 km². Le port de Lomé reçoit essentiellement des marchandises qui vont en transit dans les pays comme le Burkina, le Niger, le Mali, qui n'ont pas de port. Donc c'est un plaisir pour moi et puis un honneur de prendre la parole à ce 7e congrès mondial sur la lutte contre la contrefaçon et le piratage, ici à Istanbul, pour parler des activités opérationnelles de lutte contre la fraude entreprise dans le cadre de la douane, donc la douane togolaise. L'une des missions essentielles des douanes de par le monde est la lutte contre la fraude sous toutes ses formes. La fraude qui s'entend des trafics de toutes sortes, les trafics de drogue, le trafic des enfants. Dans notre sous-région, le trafic des enfants prend une ampleur importante. Il y a la lutte contre la contrefaçon et la contrebande. Bien qu'en Afrique subsaharienne, surtout, les missions fiscales prennent le pas sur les autres missions dévolues à la douane. De nos jours, avec l'ampleur de la fraude et sa subtilité et la menace que la fraude fait peser sur nos États, les missions de protection et de sécurité prennent aussi de l'importance, puisque dans tous les cas, la fraude entraîne une baisse des recettes douanières. Donc je vais vous parler d'abord des difficultés auxquelles les douanes togolaises sont confrontées dans sa lutte contre la fraude en général et surtout contre la contrefaçon et principalement la contrefaçon des médicaments. Et ensuite, je parlerai de comment, de nos jours, nous, à la douane togolaise, nous avons réussi à obtenir quelques résultats en matière de lutte contre la contrefaçon. D'abord, les difficultés que nous avons dans la lutte contre la fraude en général. Nous avons un problème de porosité des frontières. Nos frontières sont perméables. Il y a tellement de pistes et la douane est incapable de surveiller et de contrôler toutes ces pistes-là. Nous avons le manque de moyens, ça c'est récurrent, les moyens humains, matériels et financiers pour pouvoir mieux lutter contre la fraude. Il faut le souligner, la corruption qui entraîne l'augmentation de la fraude. Corruption, ça s'entend les corrupteurs eux-mêmes et puis les agents corrompus. Et cette corruption est accentuée par le bas niveau des salaires au sein de l'administration des douanes. On peut aussi parler du déficit de formation dans les techniques de lutte contre la fraude. Dans le domaine spécifique de la contrefaçon et de la contrefaçon des médicaments, en plus des difficultés que je viens de citer, nous pouvons ajouter le manque de connaissances précises de ce que l'on doit appeler médicaments. Ça aussi c'est important, parce qu'à la frontière, les agents ne savent pas qu'est-ce que c'est qu'un médicament en réalité. Il y a beaucoup de compléments alimentaires qui sont déclarés et il y a beaucoup de cosmétiques qui sont déclarés alors qu'en réalité c'est des médicaments. Il y a le manque de dispositions claires sur le droit de propriété intellectuelle dans le Code des douanes. Et en matière de médicaments, nous nous appuyons sur le Code de la santé pour faire des saisies. Il y a la difficulté à la frontière de pouvoir distinguer le vrai du faux. Et il y a les pressions de toutes sortes. Les pressions, elles peuvent venir de partout, politiques, hiérarchiques et familiales. Les améliorations actuelles. Nous avons d'abord les opérations qui ont été réalisées par l'Organisation mondiale des douanes, opération Vice-Griffe 2 et Biela, qui nous ont apporté beaucoup d'avantages au niveau de la douane togolaise. Et puisque les unités de commandement de ces opérations étaient situées à Lomé, et ça a permis de faire participer beaucoup d'agents des douanes togolaises à ces ateliers de formation. Et suite à ces formations, à ces ateliers, et les agents ayant participé ont effectué des saisies de produits de contrefaçon. Et ces agents qui ont participé à ces ateliers utilisent le merveilleux outil de l'OMD, qu'est l'IPM, quand ils sont face à des produits qui soupçonnent de contrefaçon. À titre d'exemple, en 2012, après l'opération Vice-Griffe 2, ces agents ont saisi plus de 14 tonnes de médicaments, de faux médicaments. Bon, accessoirement, ils ont saisi aussi de la drogue, 151 kilos, dont essentiellement du cannabis. Cette année 2013, avec l'opération Biela, les saisies sont encore plus importantes au port de Lomé. Nous n'avons pas encore les chiffres puisque nous sommes en train de compiler tous les résultats des saisies. Mais il y a lieu de noter que dans notre pays, il y a une volonté politique de lutter contre la contrefaçon et le piratage. Et d'ailleurs, notre chef de l'État avait signé la déclaration de Cotonou relative à la lutte contre les faux médicaments. Qu'est-ce que nous faisons pour avoir ces résultats? Il y a la collaboration avec d'autres services. C'est essentiellement avec le ministère de la Santé. Et nous collaborons étroitement avec la direction des pharmacies, des laboratoires et équipements techniques, et qui nous permettent d'authentifier les documents qui doivent accompagner les produits pharmaceutiques. Nous effectuons certaines opérations de contrôle même avec les équipes de ce ministère. Et la douane togolaise collabore également avec les services de police, de gendarmerie et les services chargés de la protection de la propriété intellectuelle. Nous collaborons avec certains titulaires de droit qui ont fait des demandes d'intervention aussi. Qu'est-ce que je peux dire pour conclure? La douane togolaise est résolument engagée dans la lutte contre la contrefaçon et souhaite que les actions de formation en la matière puissent s'intensifier davantage, vu que de nos jours, les techniques des contrefacteurs évoluent, ainsi que les routes empruntées par les produits de contrefaçon. Le réel problème que nous avons aujourd'hui à la douane togolaise, c'est, et certainement dans les autres douanes aussi, que faire des produits saisis, c'est-à-dire les opérations de saisie que nous effectuons, nous avons les produits sur les bras, surtout quand il s'agit de médicaments. Nous sommes obligés, nous avons effectué certaines opérations, nous avons détruit entre-temps plus de 60 tonnes de médicaments et nous les détruisons par le feu. Et généralement, comme c'est des produits chimiques, les fumées sont nocives pour les populations et pour l'environnement. Je vous remercie.
Merci, M. Mamana. Passons à notre dernier orateur, c'est M. Michael Otto, qui est directeur des opérations sur la sécurité des produits Novartis Suisse.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Monsieur Zimmermann, I try to catch up some time in order not to keep you too long from lunch. When I've been approached earlier this year by Mr. Zimmermann with the invitation to provide a presentation on this occasion, covering the subject operational activities, enforcement, and somehow the industry perspective. I'm representative of the industry, if you like. I try to settle or to go for a case study, and I hope that might be interesting for you as well. The specific charm of this study, it's an ongoing case, so it's a case still in progress. The case also has a certain sad part of it because this case highlights how deliberately and approvingly criminal actors and counterfeiters are risking or put at risk the life of the most vulnerable parts of our society, which are people living in less affluent regions like sub-Saharan Africa and the Eastern African region. And actually, I have prepared a couple of slides, but I think for the sake of time, we skip them now, or I've settled for free speech. The case is also about malaria. As you all know, malaria is a killer. Estimated is that malaria accounts for 3,000 deaths daily, most of them, according to estimates, 90% in sub-Saharan Africa, and from this 90% of the death toll goes to children under 5 years. The global burden goes to 50% to 2 states, and specifically, which is Nigeria and the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which I think you should keep in mind for my following comments. Now, Novartis has a memorandum of understanding with the WHO, the World Health Organization, since 2001. We are providing at cost base, which means we are making no profit, a highly effective and specific anti-malaria treatment, Coartem. I'm telling you the name now because this is not a commercially, the public Coartem is not a commercially available product. Again, it's given to the donor organizations on a cost price basis, and since 2001 we have provided 600 million treatments, in specifically into the going to the African region. Now we have in 2010 initial reports came in indicating a diversion from Coartem treatment from East Africa to the West African region. Diversion, for those of you who might not be confident with that term, is illegitimate or illegal transfer or rerouting of a product from one market to the other. Basically, that means that diversion on a systemic basis, on a systemic scale, has been diverted from East Africa, mostly Tanzania, but also from Mozambique and Kenya, to region where there was a high demand but low supply, mainly the West African sub-Saharan states like Nigeria, Benin, Cameroon, and Angola. And in 2010, based on this information, we have Novartis has initiated a sample collection market service in the specific West Sub-Saharan region, and we have purchased approximately 400 samples of Coartem, and with 163 different batch numbers. And our later analysis showed of these 163 batch numbers, 130 were diverted from East Africa to West Africa, which mean that they actually do not belong there at all. Now, in order to get a better grip on the situation and also to know about the extent of the diversion scheme, we extended this market surveys together with our partner organizations and NGOs mainly, and we found, to our astonishment, also in starting from late 2011, counterfeit versions of this Coartem product. Again, keep in mind, it's actually a product which should have no commercial value at all, and these counterfeit versions didn't have, and we have so far identified 20 incidents, does not have any active ingredient, which means when a patient is, a malaria patient is, in particular a child, are treated with this counterfeit Coartem version, this leads immediately to therapeutic failure and potentially death of the patient. This you have to keep in mind, though this is really a life-risking undertaking. And in follow-up operations, we try to enlarge our sample collection and other better operations, also get a better grip on the situation. But we did not succeed. As you can imagine, West African, sub-Saharan West African is an extremely dangerous and a difficult operational area. So we, at that point, we had no clue to what extent actually or the coartem product is counterfeited in that area. And the interesting question, why was a counterfeit coartem, or what was the incentive behind it to counterfeit a no profit drug? Yeah? And obviously, and that's the assessment shows that following the diversion of the product, a price building dynamic kicked in. And an illegitimate parallel, if you like, parallel economy developed with an illegal supply chain, bringing the product from East Africa over to West Africa. So this led to price building dynamics, which obviously was so attractive, that it wasn't sufficient incentive for counterfeiters to kick in and also to provide counterfeit versions of coartem. But again, what was missing was a missing link, which meant some information intelligence which would enable us to work our way backwards to trace the potential sources at coartem and also to identify and prosecute illegitimate or illicit market actors involved in that trade. And that missing link or this catalyst, if you like, was Operation Vice Grips 2. This was the last year's, the predecessor operation of this year's Operation Biella, and this led to the largest counterfeit drug seizure ever, not coartem, counterfeit drug seizure ever, which was 1.2 million treatments of coartem seized by Angola Customs in the course of operation in July 2012. And this seizure, together with the documentation and intelligence information it provided, enabled not only Customs but also us to identify the criminal network behind it, or at least starting to identify the criminal actors behind it, to work our way backwards the illicit distribution chain, and also due to the fact that the coartem shipment itself came from China, to initiate legal action and an investigative action in China as well. I mentioned this case is still ongoing, so right now, this week, we have meetings with Chinese authorities in order to initiate prosecution or investigative action in China, where we believe the potential source might be. So again, this case, I'm running out of time, this case highlights the extreme importance for us as an industry to cooperate with customs authorities in general, with the WCO in particular, and it also shows that for us as an industry, it's worth the effort to support customs in capacity building, in training and education, in providing also in a timely and accurate communication in operational manner in every way we could. So it pays out, and it was for us, for Novartis, the first cooperation in 2011 on the occasion of Operation Vice Grips 2, and we had an immediate hit. So we are actually now a big fan, I have to say that, from the WCO, and we really regard cooperation with customs and WCO as an absolute key requirement for successful enforcement and successful investigative procedure with regard to identifying illicit actors and counterfeiters. Thank you.
Merci Michael. On est un petit peu en retard et compte tenu de l'importance du thème débattu, on va peut-être donner très rapidement la parole à l'auditoire, simplement en remarquant que malgré le nombre d'initiatives importantes, très importantes, prises par les uns et par les autres en matière de formation, en matière de coopération, en matière de législation, en matière d'analyse de risque, avec la mise en place d'IPM, malgré toute cette activité douanière, puisque la lutte contre la contrefaçon et le piratage est devenue une de nos priorités, eh bien, les retenues ne cessent d'augmenter. Alors, mesdames, messieurs, si vous avez des questions, les panélistes sont à votre disposition.
Thank you very much. I'm the Deputy Head of Customs in Egypt, and I'm using this opportunity to present all the appreciation to the Turkish customs, because we have a case study now about how important the role of customs in the protection of the IBR. We have faced the problem by one of the national companies, which is a cigarette producer, and there is no way to stop these counterfeited cigarettes came from the source of production to Turkey, transit going back to Libya in order to enter Egypt. And by the cooperation between the government of Egypt and the Turkish customs, we could succeed in seizing the shipment and stopping the smuggling of such a very scary and very dangerous shipment going to Egypt. I believe that in the absence of a very clear and strong legislation helping customs to do a better job in the area of protection of IBR, mutual cooperation between customs. Otherwise, when you are talking about customs to customs, this is very important. Exchange of information, exchange of experts and experience. I think this will help a lot in doing a very noticeable part and role for the customs administration in the area. Thank you so much.
Merci, Monsieur le Directeur Général. Une autre question, peut-être? Alors, il y a 2, 3, 4.
Hi, I'm Katel Gizio. I'm in charge of IP matters in the French customs. And with your permission, I will ask my question in French. Donc tout d'abord, je souhaiterais remercier la Commission européenne et l'OMD pour les actions continues et efficaces qu'ils mènent pour la lutte contre la contrefaçon. J'ai cependant une petite préoccupation. Les douanes françaises ont une préoccupation à l'heure actuelle, puisqu'en fait, depuis le 1er décembre 2011, un arrêt qu'on appelle l'arrêt Nokia de la Cour de justice de l'Union européenne a des conséquences très importantes sur l'action opérationnelle de nos services, puisque nous ne pouvons plus, pour résumer brièvement, opérer des contrôles en transit, transbordement et sous régime suspensif. La conséquence en France a été immédiate, puisque les saisies de contrefaçon en 2012 ont chuté de 50%. Elles sont passées en fait de 9 millions en 2011 d'articles à 4,5 millions en 2012. Donc ma question est très courte et très simple. Je voulais savoir ce que pensent les autorités douanières et les titulaires du droit du panel de la possibilité d'effectuer des contrôles justement en transit, transbordement et sous régime suspensif. Merci.
Merci, Madame. Qui parmi vous, Madame, Messieurs, veut répondre à cette question sur l'arrêt Nokia? De contrôle en transit, transbordement? S'il vous plaît.
Merci. Je me suis sentie un peu désignée pour répondre à la question. Effectivement, l'arrêt Nokia a marqué, disons, a marqué un peu les esprits sur la capacité d'agir sur les marchandises qui sont en transit. La Cour de justice a confirmé ce qui était dans la loi jusqu'à présent, puisque les douanes n'agissent que sur la base du droit qui établit la protection des droits de propriété intellectuelle. Ceci est un fait. Il n'empêche que dans le nouveau règlement douanier qui est en cours d'adoption, il est prévu que les douanes puissent agir dans toutes les situations dans lesquelles les marchandises sont sous contrôle douanier, en suivant la définition de la protection dans la loi de base. Et cette loi de base, au niveau européen, fait l'objet de révision. Il y a 2 ans, la Commission européenne a proposé une stratégie pour moderniser le cadre légal de la protection de la propriété intellectuelle au niveau européen. Et donc, des propositions de loi sont mises sur la table. On a parlé avant des brevets, mais il y a aussi la proposition de loi sur les marques. Et là également, il y a des avancées dans ce domaine dans le cadre de la proposition de la Commission européenne. Donc on verra si ces avancées sont confirmées par le Conseil et le Parlement. Mais je crois qu'en ce qui nous concerne, il est très important que les douanes, au vu des ressources dont elles disposent au niveau européen, agissent en premier lieu sur les marchandises qui sont destinées au marché européen. Comme tu l'as dit, Christophe, les saisies augmentent, mais bon, peut-être c'est parce qu'on est plus efficace, mais aussi parce que les volumes restent élevés, et notamment le marché européen est un des premiers marchés qui est visé par les contrefacteurs pour des raisons évidentes. Donc je crois que ce combat-là, on doit continuer de le mener, et c'est pour ça qu'on a fait des propositions pour rendre le travail des douanes plus efficace afin de mieux protéger le marché européen. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Caroline, j'ai vu que madame, avec une question également, on en reprendra une autre parce qu'on est très en retard, on ne souhaite pas vous déranger dans votre repas si excellent. Je vous en prie, madame.
I'm from India, from Ministry of Finance, and this is regarding what methods we have taken to, as an enforcement agencies, to bring about the rules and regulations. So in 2007, we have implemented intellectual property rights imported goods enforcement rules, which are quite detailed, and they give a very good laid down procedure on what the right holder can do regarding if there is an infringement on importation of his goods. I will not go into the details for short of time, but I want to just say that after we have introduced this rule, we have got a very good rate of success in detecting instances of counterfeiting and piracy, particularly in electronic equipments like Nokia mobile phones using their logo, how they have been doing this, cosmetic and toiletries, belts, wallets, watches, perfumes, computer motherboards, chips, Xerox toner, black cartridges, etc. These pose a very serious security risk in the Indian environment, since they do not carry the internationally required serial numbers. So this is a very security risk for us, and we are all out to combat this. And the other cases are for cosmetics, like very well-known names like Nivea, L'Oreal, Garnier, Revlon, Dove, Axe, Sony, Adidas, Gucci, even Mercedes-Benz auto parts are being counterfeited. So we have taken stringent action against that. To combat it further, we have introduced a web-based IPR module, which is called Automatic Recordation and Targeting for IPR Protection. It is called ARTS. And this provides for online registration with the chosen custom office for protection of the IPR rights right across the country. The main features is online submission of the IPR notice, uploading images of the genuine goods and trademark insignias, and uploading images of the infringing goods, and generation of a unique registration number, and an auto-generated mail to the applicants regarding the status of the application for recordation. And since 2008, this has been successfully integrated with our risk management system. And to that end, in 1 year alone, we have got 634 cases which have been registered of IPRs, and the data is used extensively for targeting suspect consignments based on information furnished by the IP holders. I just want to add that since then, in 2011-12, goods declared value of US dollars 5 million were seized under these violations, but the market value of this seized is US $26 million. So we are moving towards this, and I take this opportunity to invite anybody who would like to avail of our systems and for capacity building also. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, madame. On prend la toute dernière question, et s'il vous plaît, autant que ce soit une question courte, et je vous demanderai, madame, messieurs, d'avoir la même réponse courte, parce que nous sommes très en retard. Est-ce qu'il y a encore une question? S'il vous plaît.
Good afternoon, panel. I have a question, and I think this is going to be directed to well, generally to the panel, but especially from the Togo presenter. One of the things that I learned from which I do agree with to a large extent from his presentation, is on the lack of information. But I wanted to find out what the enforcement reconciliation would be in a situation where, because I think when we talk of counterfeiting and piracy, there is this serious assumption of smuggled goods, that mostly it comes in as smuggled goods. But having a situation where some of these pirated and counterfeit products come into the country as goods, and they go through the process of declaring where people actually pay the duty as required, because one of the things that customs would do, obviously, is to meet their targets. And after these goods have been paid for and they are inland, and later on, and receipts have been issued, and these goods find themselves on the market, later on, you learn to say they were counterfeit goods. How would you deal with the situation? Thank you.
Bien, merci pour la question qui a été posée. C'est vrai. Il y en a, comme je l'ai dit, il y a la contrebande qui fait que beaucoup de produits peuvent rentrer sur le marché sans que la douane ne s'en aperçoive à la frontière. Mais nous collaborons avec les autorités de lutte, de protection de la propriété intellectuelle, et puis la police surtout, avec qui nous collaborons et qui a l'autorisation d'aller directement sur le marché s'il y a des produits de contrefaçon, de les ramasser. Voilà. Donc nous collaborons avec la police dans ces situations. Merci.
Merci, monsieur. Comme nous sommes très très en retard, ce que je vous propose de faire, madame, messieurs les pénalistes seront à votre disposition dans l'après-midi ou durant le déjeuner si vous le souhaitez. Remercier, madame, messieurs les pénalistes, vous remercier, mesdames, messieurs, et vous garantir que les administrations douanières font de la lutte contre la contrefaçon et le piratage une priorité. Merci de votre attention.